Hi everyone, welcome to Infinity Bottle Evolution. I'm your host EJ, here with another episode of Infinity Bourbon Bottle Evolution. Today we are going to, as normal, explore the current makeup of our bottle. We're going to sample our bottle. We're also going to do a blind tasting, and we're going to do a few ads. Be sure to reach out if you have an Infinity bottle. We're actively looking to trade samples. We have 3 bottles going right now. The Infinity Bourbon bottle, the It Ain't Bourbon Infinity bottle, which we just debuted yesterday, and that one is a mix-up of non-bourbon, other whiskeys in the cabinet, and then ultimately the Infinite Infinity bottle. You can see today I decided to take advantage of this beautiful spring day here in Pennsylvania and got outside to shoot my video. So trying something new. Hopefully sound quality is okay, everything works out well. Bear with me if we have some technical issues. This is definitely a first run here. All right, getting into some stats. Let's talk about the Infinity Bourbon bottle. So I recently did a video on my Infinite Infinity bottle, where I was able to share a sample with a friend out there, Squirrely Man. So you can notice my bottles run down a little bit, currently at about 22 ounces, which is a little lower than I like her, but that's only because we sent a sample out of version 10, which is the version we're gonna sample today. The current bottle is 54 days old. The average mix time in the bottle of everything that's in there is about 42 days. The proofage is down slightly. Proofage is currently at 98.9 from a 99.2 last time. There's 34 different things in the mix right now. The strongest makeup being Old Forester 1920, roughly about 1.2 ounces, about 5% of the bottle of that juice in the mix. Second place, about 1 ounce remaining, about 4% of the bottle is IW Harper 15. The last ad we put in here was some Smoke Wagon small batch. So that's the new flavor that's in the mix that we'll see how it impacted the juice since last time. As far as mash bill, about 73% corn, about 15% rye. So the rye's been creeping up. About 8% barley and about 3% wheat. So let's go ahead and start with a sample of the Infinity Bourbon bottle before we start getting into some of the other goodies. So as always, guys, we're looking for you to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, put some comments down below, talk about your Infinity bottle, talk about what we're doing here, give me feedback, whatever you want to do. I don't care, good, bad, the ugly, I don't care. All right, guys, so here we are, Infinity Bourbon Blend version 10. Getting a lot of classic bourbon, getting a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel. Not too much burn, not too much ethanol. A little bit of oakiness, but it kind of like is a little bit more of that like wet wood sort of oakiness, not the oakiness I always get in bourbon that tends to be a little more like of drying. This is more like a damp oak. Still getting some fruitiness. I'm getting almost like a little bit of apple in there, a little bit of banana. I feel like I'm even pulling like a little bit of strawberry in the mix, ever so faintly. All right, cheers. Just a half ounce today, just something to see what we're working with, because we will be doing another taste in here. A lot more oak forward, a lot more oak coming out in the flavor profile, and then the finish is a little bit more of that sweeter caramelly sort of side of things, which is interesting, because usually I tend to get oak more on the backside than up front. Good mouth coating, a little bit more vanilla on that second sip. Definitely more of that mouth sort of tongue sort of fullness, not necessarily spreading out to the cheeks like some bourbon does for me. I'm getting a little bit of ethanol on that sip. Well-rounded though. The oakiness is definitely what I feel is most dominant right now, which is pretty interesting. Not exactly what I expected, because that smoke wagon isn't crazy oaky. So it's really interesting that that's where this is going. All right, very good. So that gets us through part 1 here, guys. Now going on to part 2. Let's do an ad first. So today I'm gonna add something that I'm liking quite a bit. Recently made a trip over to Jersey, maybe a month or 2 ago, and I stumbled on a store which I mentioned in a previous video when I added a Barrell product that I picked up a store pick. Well, Benash Liquor also had a store pick of Penelope. Penelope Bourbon Barrel Strength. It's a high proofer. It's 115.1. It's a private selection. When I was in there, I had heard a lot of good things about Penelope Black Label bottles, and they only had like 4 or 5 of these remaining on their shelf. They have some really, really great selection of store picks at Benash. So anybody is it Benash? Yeah, Benash. Anybody who's in that Philadelphia region, please don't be taters. Don't go in there and buy 6 bottles of things. Like, go in there and grab one. Spread some love for the rest of us. But they have a lot of really cool stuff that I'm excited to try. But this was one of the 2 store picks I picked up when I was there. It's really good. It's really delicious. It drinks a little bit hot for 115. I tend to like higher proofs. I tend to really kind of go in the 120 to 130 range. Recently has been what's speaking to me the most. It's not as like hot as, for instance, I'm working on killing a bottle of Maker's Cask Strength, which is 110, and I was sipping some of that last night, and that to me, just for whatever reason, drinks so hot. I love it, but like, I need it over a cube. Like, I don't really love it straight. A lot of my bourbon I tend to drink neat. This is one that's very drinkable at 115, but it's got some of that burn. It's not, it's not like it doesn't have it. All 3 of our straight bourbon whiskeys use Penelope Bourbon Private Selector aged in New American Charred oak barrels. Selection breakdown: 31.3% corn bourbon, 31.3% rye bourbon, and 37.4% wheat bourbon. So what they did is they blended a few different of their bourbons, which it seems like they used their wheatier stuff was the most prominent here, which is kind of cool. This is batch 21-161. It has a 4-year age statement on it. So really good bottle. I'm really happy that I grabbed that. And today, because I do like this bottle so much, we're going to go a little heavy on it. We're going to actually make it the new most dominant player in the Infinity Bourbon bottle. We're going to do 1.5 in the mix. Now, this is a bottle that, now that she's down past the neck, she's getting down to the label level, I definitely am planning on slowing down on sipping on that one, because I do want to keep it around, especially as a private pick. Now, what I will do is I will keep my eyes open for some more Penelope products. I know here in Pennsylvania, I saw their, I think they have 3 different bottles. I think they have like kind of like a white label, which is their lower proof sort of bottle. I saw that in a shop recently. Passed up on it because I'm definitely, like I said, more into the higher proofage, cask strength sort of stuff these days. They have a red bottle, and I've heard good things about the red bottle. And then they have the black labels. Now, I think I've seen that sometimes the black labels are labeled toasted barrel. Sometimes they're not. This one obviously is not. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for another black label out there, or maybe a red label to have on reserve and kind of side by side it with something. But we did add 1.5 of the Penelope in there. So that's now in the mix. And now on to a mystery. So, a while back we shared a video where we did a sampling, a blind tasting, which ended up being E.H. Taylor's single barrel from our friend Broken Kevin up in New York. Well, Kevin had sent me a few samples, so we're gonna crack another one today. So I have a short list of things that this could potentially be, but I don't really know for sure what this is. Now I'm gonna just pour myself a little taste here because we're gonna add an ounce of whatever this is into the mix. Be sure to check the comments. Kevin will definitely throw a comment down below letting us know how accurate or inaccurate my guess was today as to what I'm sipping here. So I'm always curious. Like I said, in a few minutes after I nose this, taste it, we're gonna look at the list here and see if I can make an educated guess on what this may be. The nose is really nice on this. It's sweet. I feel like I'm getting some baking spice in there, but it's kind of like it's not a super strong baking spice. It's a little bit more of like a sweeter up front with some baking spice kind of lower in the mix. You can see my girl Charlie rolling around in the back making her Infinity Bottle Evolution debut right now. Wind's picking up. Sorry if I lose the camera. Nope, we're good. Almost like a simple syrup in the mix there. Yeah, definitely sweet, simple syrup. A little bit, the baking spice, but almost a little floral too. Wow, that's really good. I think I'm getting a lot of rye. No, last time I blind tested something from Kevin, I guessed it had a lot of rye, and I was fairly wrong. It's got a nice color to it. I'm also not used to looking at my bourbon out here in the sun, so it's a little different than what I'm used to in the house. It's kind of cool, kind of nice looking at it in the sun. Well, whatever that is, it is tasty. It's got like a little bit of nuttiness to it, but it's not like a Jim Beam sort of nuttiness. Wow. So based on the things that I know that Kevin has, and that knowing that it's something that I haven't tried or don't have in my collection at least, I'm going to guess that's Knob Creek. I'm going to guess that's Knob Creek 9-year single barrel. Now, I don't know that I've ever had Knob Creek before. Anything, to be totally honest. It's another one that, for whatever reason, I always pass up on the shelf. But that's going to be my guess. Now, we will have an update next time on exactly what this was. So that way we have a reference point and we can keep our records accurate. But now what we're going to do is we are going to add an ounce of this into the mix. It's starting to pick up wind-wise out here, so sorry if we're getting a lot of background noise. I hope not. But it is what it is, right? All right, so now we've added 2 more things in the mix. We added Penelope Black Label. We also added Mystery Number B. Broken Kevin, feel free, go ahead and share in the comments what we actually tried today, so the viewers out there can double check. We will give this a little bit of a swirl. I'm keeping a little bit of excess room still remaining here, guys, because I do plan on doing quite a few heavier ads in the coming videos. Got quite a few things that I'm excited to add into the mix. As always, guys, we're going to ask you to do the 4 things. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. If you're subscribed, make sure you have the bell hit so you get those notifications when we post new videos. Post a comment below. Talk about what we're doing here. And also share. You know, never hurts to share something that's cool, right? So share it, put it out there to the world, and of course like it. As always, we're asking for your samples. If you're out there, you have an infinity bottle going, we'd love to trade some samples with you. Right now, we are willing to trade samples of this as well as our It Ain't Bourbon bottle, but we want to get your infinity bottle into the infinite infinity bottle. So please reach on out if you got an infinity going out there. Doesn't have to be bourbon, doesn't have to be rye, doesn't even need to necessarily be whiskey. I'm waiting on a package from someone who's sending me I think a bourbon-based infinity blend, but secondly a gin-based blend, and I'm pretty excited to try that. I don't know if we're going to put much of that in the infinite infinity bottle, but I think I'll at least put a splash if nothing else. So point being, you know, we all things infinity, you know, all things blended, we love it. We want to try that unique juice. We want to see what you're working with. We want to, of course, share what we have. Once we hit 100 subscribers, we will be doing some giveaways, so keep spreading the word so that way we can get to that point. And once again, guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. We're going to keep that weekly content coming. Really felt great doing this outside today in a little bit of a different setting than my dungeon. Looking forward to adding quite a few more things into the mix and looking forward to trying your juice. So please keep in touch, stay safe out there, drink responsibly, and blend the pain away. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you next time.